Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming and welcome to our presentation this evening. Hopefully looking at about 20 minutes and then I know lots of you will want to get back out and around the school. I am not Dr. Mellor. Dr. Mellor is head teacher for the whole site, so for the lower school and all the way up to Ashby sixth form. She is unable to be here this evening, but she wanted me to give a very warm welcome on her behalf and say you are most welcome. Also wanted to point out that we are in a trust, we are in Life Trust, and that's really, really important to us, not only because of the values that are on there, but also because I'm sure in here, in this audience, we've got students from Ipstock and from Ivanhoe, and I think sometimes the message gets round that actually you have to be an Ashby student to get in, and that's not the case at all. Whether you are from within the trust, whether you are an Ashby student or whether you are from wider, I know we'll have people here from Newbridge, from Granville, from all the other schools that I've been visiting over the last few weeks, you are most welcome and you are you will guarantee a place. We have a really big capacity and we will be able to offer your son or daughter a position should they want it. So, I don't know where mine, oh there we go. I'll start here. My name is Vicky Rundle-Brown. I am head of school here at Ashby, but I'm head of school for post 16. I've been here for 22 long years and long and happy years, and I am really excited to talk to you tonight about our sixth form offer. I'll come back to these. We stick with the same ethos and values that our lower school students have. And I am an absolute believer that if you get those three things right at the bottom, in terms of showing respect, accepting responsibility, and building resilience, you actually will do really, really well in life. And our sixth form, as hopefully by the time you've left us tonight, will convince you, is a really, really special place. It is something where the culture is the most important thing, because I am a massive believer that if you get the culture right, everything else follows. And yes, of course, it is about getting your son or daughter the best possible grades, but it's also about everything else that comes along with 2 years of post-16 study. It will be tough at times, hence why the resilience is important. Students will make mistakes, hence why the responsibility is important. And we just want everyone to be respectful, and they do a really, really great job. And hopefully you'll see those students about tonight. So my vision for Ashby Sixth Form is there for you to have a read. It's something I am incredibly passionate about because it is about every student. In this audience, we will have students that are looking at possibly getting straight grade 9s. And that's absolutely brilliant and you are very welcome. But we'll also have students that will come to our sixth form who have just met our entry requirements. And I want to emphasise that our sixth form is for everyone. It is really, really inclusive. We have a really broad offer, which I'll go through in a second. And that's because we want everybody to get to their end point. We want everybody to have the opportunity to reach their potential and achieve success. So that is a massive, massive driving force behind our sixth form. Our results. I could stand here and go through every subject and actually, although I am really proud of our results, they don't tell the full story because of course behind every piece of data is an individual young person. But in terms of comparisons across the county, we do perform really, really well. Those figures had gone up from the previous year. So again, we are always striving to go better and better. But again, particularly what I'm proud of is not only the top end grades, the A star and the A grades, but it is that whole spectrum of students that come here and achieve really, really well. But even though the results are, you know, what they're going to get at the end, for me, again, everything in education is a stepping stone to the next place. And actually, we'll have students on there that were quite disappointed with their results, but yet they've still secured what they want to do next. And that's a really big piece of our work here at Ashby. We are really passionate about students going to the right places. And actually, you'll see that our university entrance has dipped a little bit. And I could stand here and say to you, I'm a bit worried about that, but actually I'm not. Because what are those students that perhaps have made a different choice is they've gone to something that is absolutely right for them. And some of our students have secured amazing apprenticeships. We have a program called the Career Ready program, where students do internships throughout the summer at the end of year 12. Some students are then offered a job with that company and an apprenticeship. And so actually for them, it's absolutely the right thing not to go off to university. So again, it goes back to that every student and what is right for them. And you can see we're really proud of all of those different things. To our courses now, what you're here to get the information about. So hopefully everybody will walk away with a little A5 leaflet with some QR codes. We are trying to think of the environment and go as paper-free. In the olden days, you'd have walked around all the subjects and got a whole load of paper that probably you flick through once and then not again. So on the back, every single QR code will take you to the faculty information leaflet, where you will find more information about that subject. And the really important QR code is the one at the top, which takes you to our brand new options booklet. And with 29 courses, that is really hard to make sure it's up to date and relevant. We are introducing a couple of new things this year. And again, that information will be up and running as soon as it is available. But please go to that for any information you need. I do want to mention our new things, because again, to do things properly, we don't want to rush things and say, oh, we're just going to chuck a dart at a dartboard and we're going to do that exam board. We're currently looking at all the different pros and cons for these new things. And so we're not prepared to commit just because we've got an evening today, but these things will be happening. So we've got 3 new subjects. Applied science is brand new for us. It's there for students that passionately want to study science, but don't quite meet our entry requirements when it comes round to it. And we have a lot of students every year that end up going, please, 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 can you let me on to biology? But I didn't quite make the entry requirements. And for anyone that has experience of sciences, they are incredibly challenging, and we don't want to set students up to fail. So again, really important to us that we have a different offer that is still appropriate for them to do. We currently run A-level engineering, and we've listened to our students, and the feedback has been that some of the content is very heavy. They've signed up to do a practical hands-on course, and actually they've ended up finding it quite theory heavy. So we are exploring at the moment what else is out there in terms of that vocational qualification, and we want to get that right for our students. So we will run engineering, we're just again not sure which way we will go. And then health and social care. Now, health and social care is something that, because I've spoken to lots of schools in the area, is, I believe, really popular. We don't offer it at Ashby, but I know lots of other schools do, and students are passionate about carrying that on at post-16. So we are committed to running that qualification, numbers pending, from 2025. But again, at the moment, we're in that very early stage. So the course will run, but you won't tonight see a stand for it because we haven't quite got there. We're then, and I'm not going to spend too long about our packages, but this is something that, it was a bit of an idea that came to us and it's kind of grown. We have really strong areas in our school, and actually the thing I want to drive forward is those links with businesses. So there are 3 packages, and at the end of the option booklet, there's a page which gives more information. So it will tell you, if you want to do a business package, what combination of subjects we're after. So have a look through that to get the detail. But in a nutshell, it's going to be 3 academic subjects, but then you're going to get a guaranteed work experience placement. You're going to get people coming in to talk to you, and you're going to get trips out. Okay, so again, that's the package deal that we're looking at setting up in those 3 areas. That's the QR. That is what you will see when you go to your QR code on the back. So again, you can see we've got all of our faculties represented here. If you haven't yet had a wander, we are quite a big site, so we've tried to keep it all compressed for you. Arts is in our arts block, which is just outside past the library. Design, they've done a little bit of a trail, again in our design block. English is in the library, PE is in the hub, and then everything else is in our Key Stage 3 canteen. The locations are on the back of your leaflet. They're just incredibly tiny. But I didn't, again, want to reprint. So please ask any of our students, any of our staff, if you're not sure where to go after this presentation. So at this point, I'm going to have a breather. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Sang. Mr. Sang is currently one of our year team leaders. We have one for every year group, and Mr. Sang currently is in charge of our lovely year 13s. So he will be the year team leader rolling into next year. And I thought it was a nice opportunity to hear from someone that's on the ground doing all these things. I'll pass you that, sir, so we can be seamless. Over you go.
Good evening, everyone. What I want to focus on tonight is just giving you a snapshot of student life, what you can expect when you come to Ashby School. So, first and foremost, we've got the facilities. Obviously, we've got the classroom. I wanted to focus on more about what extra things we have. For example, each year 12, year 13s will have their own common room, student common room. We have 6, 7 study rooms. We have 3 rooms. And that's on top of all the, classrooms, dedicated workshops. Hopefully you either came to the tour last Saturday, or you're going to come on 16th. You'll see the site then, and you'll see that actually there is quite a lot of space, a lot of facilities that the students can actually use. So, expectations. So, all students coming in here will be looking to select at least three qualifications, 3 subjects. On top of the subjects, and this is very something we pride ourselves on, we offer a personal development program. So, in addition to the curriculum that your student will be coming here to study, we'll offer activities and events that will hopefully enhance their employability, their social skills for when they leave us, during and when they leave us. So, for things like, they will cover current affairs, they will cover things like health, they cover all aspects of things that they might be using, things like UCAS, apprenticeships, gap years, that sort of information. So some of them are timetabled, and also we do that in form as well. We also have supervised study, so basically extra sessions where they can study on top of their curriculum. We offer enrichment, which I'll touch on a bit later. And then there's non-contact periods. So students will have some free periods where we encourage them to make use of it, where they can study, do an extra bit of study. But for some, they might just need a break from school. For some, they might want to socialise with friends. For some, they may want to walk into Ashby, go for a coffee, and just take a break from school. And of course, we offer career support. So a bit about my role. In summary, I like to be seen as the focal point for students. So any issues, any concerns, any questions, they don't know where to go, they come and see me. We have a wide range of support in the school. When students first come, they might not know where they are, so hopefully I can point them the right way. The support will also include parents, so I welcome communication, and I'll communicate with parents as well, because we really want the best for the student, and if we feel that there is a need to contact and support, then we will. So enrichment and leadership. Enrichment, so all year 12s when you start with us, you'll be offered opportunities to do enrichment. That is compulsory, but it's to benefit you, so it's going to be something on top of your qualification. So some examples are, we have students going into nursing homes, nurseries, schools, trying to think what else, but basically lots of aspects of activities. Inside school, they sometimes go and help with the lower school and help the classes and form time. Leadership, we have this year I think over 30 students in year 13 who have roles that are in sort of some capacity leading other students. So for example, we've got a senior team, we've got student council, we've got students make up a wellbeing team. So we actively encourage students to get involved, and all these things will help enhance their CV. Extracurricular, so these are things on top of all that, so these are other things as well. So We do trips, so there's a ski trip there you can see. We have some clubs after school, such as music, food, but quite a lot of these are student-led. So, for example, if a group of students say, actually, we're interested in, a couple of years ago it was sign language, we will support that. Last year, quite a lot of sports, so rugby, the netball, the basketball, we're supporting that, but that's student-led. So students come to us and say, we're really keen on that, can we do something? And we support that.
I think it's back to me, isn't it, sir? Thank you. So, in terms of what you need to know in terms of if you are keen to make an application to Ashby Sixth Form, again, going back to that inclusivity, we actually have one of the lowest entry requirements in the county, and that is with really good reason. So good results, but still with those lower entry requirements. And that is because we want everybody to come and have the experience that we offer. So we are asking for 5 grade 4s or above. That needs to include maths and English. Just a little bit about that, because on occasions we will have on results day students that miss their maths grade, for example, by a couple of marks. They've picked subjects like A-level photography, A-level textiles, and so on, and the maths isn't going to be important, but they've absolutely thrived at those, and we will have conversations about whether the sixth form is still the right place for them. In a similar way, it is statutory at post-16. If you don't get your English language, but if you get your English literature, you can come, but you do need to resit that English language. So again, we have those resit options for students that just miss out on those. There are then individual subject requirements. So in that options booklet, I think it's approximately page 6, you will see a really big table which has every individual subject entry requirement. So for example, physics, which is one of our most difficult A-level, you will need to get a 6.6 if you're doing double science. You will need a 6.65 with a 6 in physics if you're doing separate sciences, and you need a 6 in maths. So again, it specifies all those requirements in that booklet. We do expect a high attendance. It is a proven fact that being in school makes a difference to your grades, and it's also important at post-16. So again, anyone that falls below that but has, again, good reason, we will have those conversations at interview. So please don't panic if you've had to have time off, for example, for a medical condition that you just can't apply. That's not the case, but it's just to encourage that really high attendance between now and your exams. And in a similar way, I mentioned culture. You know, I always say to the students when they first arrive, this is your sixth form. You know, whatever's happened in the past, you know, I'm not worried about that. I now want you to be like young adults, behave appropriately. And genuinely, we don't have hardly any issues because we set that culture right. Mr. Sang has mentioned, if you haven't seen our facilities, particularly students that aren't at Ashby, but even students that are at Ashby, because they go to PE, and that's about it. So again, come and have a look round. It's not, you don't have to commit for 2.5 hours. You come, you join a walking tour, you get to go all the way round, and then you can ask questions at the end. So another opportunity to come back. It is on our other site, so it is on the sixth form campus. So again, you would meet us there. We do have an email, so again, quite straightforward, sixthform@ashbyschool.org.uk. We do have a website. Again, we've got a sixth form drop-down menu, so that will be there. And we do have quite, I understand, although it's all quite new to me, quite good followers on different platforms like TikTok and Instagram. So again, Mr. Sang is the TikTok legend, and Instagram tends to be more our parent-facing platform. So again, please sign up and follow us there, because again, that just gives you a feeling about what we're really about. In terms of admissions, lots of questions, you know, how can I do it? Admissions are via PS16. Now, students in the trust, in the local hub in Ashby School, will be familiar with that because they've started doing that probably in their personal development lessons. For any other students, you probably either have done it or will do it, but if you are coming from outside of Leicestershire, you just need to register on the website and it will create you a login, and then you still apply through that website. If you've you've got any specific questions about that tonight, in the library, Mrs. Marlowe is our careers lady, and she's a real expert on it, so she will be able to give you the information you need. But please note the deadline, Friday the 10th of January. Soon as we get that, we start processing for interview. We call students for interview. If you're coming from different schools and there's lots of you, we tend to come to you because it makes sense dragging you all out of school at a really important time. But we will get through everyone, and that's a really important time to have a conversation about whether you've picked the right subjects and so on. So any questions tonight? Myself, Mr. Sang will hang around here at the end. We've also got Miss Clapton and Mrs. Carney, who are two of our sixth form team members who are near the entrance. And then there's lots of senior leaders around who will also be able to help you. Mention PS16, send support. If anyone does have additional needs, our SENCO is also here tonight, so again, can discuss how we support our students at post 16 with those additional needs. Okay, thank you for coming. We will send out a survey to ask about how tonight's gone. We possibly have a queue at that door, so we're going to ask everyone to come out these doors and please come for questions. Thank you.